So I'm here at the bottom of page 5, and here is where we see that to answer the question, which of these three lives is the one that will really make you happy, if that can be said, we need to have a theory of human nature. At the bottom of page 5, he says this. Presumably, however, to say that happiness is the chief good seems a platitude. That is, well, yeah, it's true, but it doesn't tell us very much because we immediately want to know what happiness is. And a clear account of what it is still desired. That is, what happiness is. This might perhaps be given if we could first ascertain the function of man. And that's the key word there. Function, and by man he means human being, of course, so let's just change that. Function, we don't usually think of a human being having a function, but the Greek word that is translated here as function is ergon, and you know that an erg in physics is a unit of work, and so an ergon is thought of as an activity. And Aristotle, when he says, he wants to know what the ergon of a human being is, he's asking this question. Might be a little bit awkward the way I put it, but what is a human being supposed to do? What is the activity that its nature determines it to do? If you look at the reading, he says, well, there's a flute player, a sculptor, an artist. They all have functions. Doesn't a human being as such have a function? Think of it this way. Animals. If we look at, just study or look at or try to, understand a fish or a bird, we look at it, its physical structure, its behavior. We see that everything about the fish is geared towards swimming. If we look at the bird, we see everything about the bird is geared towards flying. That is, the ergon of a fish is to swim. The ergon, the proper function of a bird, is to fly. Can we think of a human being as being structured in such a way that, well, there's some obvious activity that is there some obvious activity that we can see from the structure of the human being that it is meant to engage in? And Aristotle's answer to that is yes. If we see what he says there about, what you'll see when you look at the top of page 6 is that there is that human nature basically has 3 levels. We are alive biologically. So is the purpose of a human being just to live? Well, no, because we share that biological life with all other living creatures. The human being also perceives and has sensation. So is the purpose of a human life to perceive and have sensation? Well, no, because we share that with all other animals, so it wouldn't be distinctive of human beings. But a human being is also rational. That is, a human being can think. That is, there is a rational element to the human being. And this is distinctive. That is, We don't share that with any other living thing. We are the only rational animal. So we get kind of an answer. What is the activity that a human being is meant to engage in? Well, based upon our very quick survey of human nature, basically, well, what we see is what is what is distinctive about human beings is rationality. And that is, we are thinking creatures. So we get a kind of an answer, I'm saying. It's a rough answer and has to be thought of and qualified and explored, but it's good to get to sort of clarify this, that this gives the whole work direction and answers, in a way, the question, what is real human happiness? What is the greatest good? The greatest good, at this point, we can at least say, happiness must have something to do with knowledge and reason. Now, what exactly that means, what that means in terms of how we live our lives, is a little bit ambiguous in Aristotle. In some ways, all he's saying is that as a human being, you must be thoughtful about your life. Other animals just live. Human beings have to think about how they should live. In another way, he is saying that the life of the philosopher, the life devoted to knowledge, because it uses this distinctive feature of human beings to the full extent, is in fact the happiest life. And I think one way of thinking about these choices here of the different sort of life is that all of them perhaps can be thought of as being happy lives, but it's the life of the philosopher because it fulfills the most distinctive part of human nature, rationality, thinking, that is the happiest type of human life.